The reason they didn't make him an offer is fairly simple to figure out. It should be ridiculous that the Browns aren't getting more criticism for not re-signing a guy that they rescued.
Joe Flacco helped the Browns make the playoffs last year, and this past Sunday he proved that wasn't a fluke as he led the Colts to a win against the Steelers. However, Flacco saying the Browns never made him an offer for 2024. Michael, is that news or noise?
I think this is huge news, right? And I think this is really kind of the media at sleeping at the switch. It's because why didn't they make him an offer? He just threw for 1,616 yards. He took them to the playoffs. And so the reason they didn't make him an offer is fairly simple to figure out. Deshaun Watson didn't want him back on the team. That Deshaun Watson didn't want him to be threatened. That, to me, makes it news. Like, that's completely news. Like, it should be ridiculous that the Browns aren't getting more criticism for not re-signing a guy that they rescued. I bet you if you gave Kevin Stefanski a lie detector, or you gave anyone in that building who was there last year, they wanted to re-sign Flacco because he was so good for their team, and he got them to the playoffs. But to me, Watson, because of who he is and his contract, they can't do that because it would upset the cart. This is why they'll never win in Cleveland. As long as they're running this franchise through the eyes of the owner, they're never going to win, Harrison.
I get what you're saying there, and it's definitely news. But to that point, Michael, if Deshaun Watson is actually healthy, at what point would you actually feel comfortable going forward with Joe Flacco? Isn't there something to be said of trying to get the most value out of the contract? I mean, we do have to honor the fact that I believe it's Cedric Willis and Jack Conklin haven't been there, the tackles. We have to honor the fact that Amari Cooper leads the NFL in the most drops. Yes, should they have Joe Flacco to back up Deshaun Watson? For sure. But even if he was there, it's not as if he would have started a game so far this season, right? Like, at what point would you even turn to him as long as Deshaun Watson is healthy?
Well, the point you're missing that I was trying to make is the fact the locker room would have wanted him to start. If you think the locker room is fully behind Deshaun, you're not watching the same games I'm watching. You're not watching the same. There's a tension on that team. You can feel it. And that locker room knows Flacco's better than him. And so that's why you can't. That locker room in Tennessee knows Mason Rudolph's better than Will Levis. Look, here's the one thing I'll tell you. You can't fool players. Players know who the better player is. Now, where you lose credibility as a coach is when you play guys ahead of other guys because the front office is telling you to play them. That's exactly what's going on here. And so what they didn't want to do is create that scenario. They needed to get rid of Flacco. He needed to disappear. He needed to go in the Bermuda Triangle. And so he went off to Indianapolis. They didn't want to make him an offer. And so that's why they're doing this. I mean, the mechanics within that locker room, look, everybody knows, I mean, we were a playoff team. We're throwing the ball down the field. We can't throw the ball. Look, I get there's no tackles. I get that. There's no run game, Nick Chubb, all those things. But why did they fire Alex Van Pelt? Watson. Why did they get rid of Flacco? Watson. You start catering to one player who hasn't played. Plus, why wouldn't you bring Flacco back anyway? He's coming off a bad shoulder. I mean, Watson was hurt. We weren't even sure Watson was going to be healthy. Wouldn't you want to protect yourself with the guy that led you to the playoffs? Not so fast, because that would upset Deshaun, and we don't want to do that.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.